Jay Gruden now does indeed join us live here on Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game. Jay, thanks so much for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. We've been bouncing Kirk Cousins' name around a lot today because the Niners will play him on Monday, and there's that history, obviously, between the Shanahans and Kirk Cousins. How would you describe, I mean, we just played that previous comment from you where you said the Shanahans love Kirk, Kirk loves the Shanahans, but how would you take that a step further? How would you describe the way Kyle Shanahan views Kirk Cousins as a quarterback?
Well, I wasn't there when Kirk played for Kyle and Mike Shanahan. I just know that Kirk has a great respect for the two of them. They kind of drafted him, brought him into the league, gave him an opportunity, so I know Kirk feels grateful for that, and he learned a lot of football from him, for sure. And then after 1 year, they got let go, and then I came in, but there's always that first love feeling, the first coach you have in the NFL that took a chance on you. And obviously the success the Shanahans have had, it's a natural respect for each other.
Is the way Brock Purdy, the way he's playing, is it making it a little bit easier for Kyle to let go of his first love, Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brock's played amazing. He's done a great job with them, and they got great weapons around them. Last week was a struggle, obviously, but people are going to have those kind of games from time to time. But, yeah, I mean, Brock's doing an amazing job, and Kyle's doing an amazing job there at the franchise.
Jay Gruden with us. He coached Kirk Cousins for 4 seasons in Washington, and so therefore, I don't know if there's a bias. Kirk has played for a long time. Brock has not. But, Jay, I'm going to ask you a little bit of an unfair question. I realize that. But let's take money out of this. Let's take age out of this. You're coaching a football team, and you can have Kirk or Brock. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Kirk. I mean, the proof is he's got a lot more games under his belt. They always take the veteran guy who's been there, done that. Kirk, the amazing thing about Kirk is he's not a real big guy, but he's the most durable guy around. I mean, has he ever missed a game? I don't even know if he has. And he takes a lot of shots. He stands in there. He's very accurate. He's very diligent in how he prepares. He's super smart. And I just know more about Kirk. I mean, Brock has still a very unfinished product. They got a great career ahead of him, but I'm going to take the given. I'm going to take the guarantee, and I know Kirk can play. Yeah,
I'm looking at his career log, and I see 15 games in 2019. Doesn't mean he missed it due to injury, but the durability is absolutely off the charts. And, you look at the numbers, and you look at his proficiency and all the metrics, they play themselves out, but yet you look at the postseason and the primetime lack of success. Jay, where would you put that in terms of his inability to win those big games?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of factors in that. It's not, it is a quarterback-driven league, and the quarterback has a lot to do with the success moving forward in the playoffs. But to get your team to the playoffs and have the ability to play in those primetime games, he's also the reason for that. But I can't put a finger on that. I don't think I can't label him as a choker. He doesn't play well in big games because he's won a lot of big games when I was around him and done some great things for me and our team. But just can't put a finger on it. Well, it's a team sport, and sometimes our defense didn't play well. Sometimes the line didn't play well. Sometimes the receivers dropped balls. It's a combination of a lot of things. And sometimes it was the referees, dang it.
Jay, it's always the referees. You know that.
Jay
exactly right.
Yeah, you must know that I'm a current youth ref, and you're coming down my road, Jay. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, exactly. I do know that's why the Niners got beat in Cleveland. It was always the refs. Coach Jay Gruden is with us here on Willard and Dibs 95.7 The Game. All right, Coach, if I get that, you pick experience, the sure thing, Kirk over Brock. A lot of people are wondering, though, because you also said Brock's got a very bright career ahead of him in San Francisco. When people talk about the system and everything that Brock has around him, how many QBs currently in the NFL do you think could be the 49er quarterback right now and have this same kind of success?
That's hard to say. Quite a few, to be honest with you. It's just because it's not so much the system, it's the players around. I'm a big believer in it's not about the plays, it's about the players. And when you have Debo and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams, it's hard not to devise a plan that will have some kind of success, right? These guys are all great players. So as long as those guys stay healthy, there's a number of guys that can perform. But Brock is doing it at a very high level. He's playing very efficient football. He's not taking a lot of sacks, and he's not turning the ball over. And that's huge. You never know. You bring somebody else in, they get a little greedy, throw some picks, and it changes the course of the momentum in the game. So you got a guy that's very efficient and very productive right now. I'm not saying that it's easy because he has great players, but I am saying that there are some quarterbacks that come in and I think do some similar jobs. Same thing at Miami, really. I mean, if you look at Miami, how many guys could go into Miami and throw to, Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Mozart?
Yeah, I mean, it must be nice to have that kind of speed across the board. The personnel is good here, but also the system seems to be good as well. And we've been all kind of fighting the label of Brock Purdy as a system quarterback. Do you think that's a disparaging thing to say about a QB, that he's a system quarterback?
I actually think it's a compliment because you're doing what the system gives you. In most system quarterbacks, they're taking what the defense gives you. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl as the Tampa Bay. He's kind of a system quarterback. He just completed the ball, moved the chains, and scored touchdowns. I don't think that's bad. I mean, you don't have to scramble around and throw an 80-yard bomb across your body like Patrick Mahomes to be a good quarterback. That's not the definition. The definition of system quarterback is throwing the ball to the right people, getting it out on time, protecting the football, putting your team in the best situations to win.
Jay Gruden is with us. Coach Kirk Cousins for 4 seasons in Washington here on 95.7 The Game. Coach, because we just played those comments you made when you were talking about the Niners offering the number 2 overall pick in 2017, and the only reason it didn't happen was because of the relationship between Dan Snyder and the Shanahans. Why was the relationship the way it was? Why did Dan Snyder feel the way that he did?
I don't know. I think now that I work for Mr. Dan Snyder, I think he had a way to ostracize his coaches. He blamed the coaches for the lack of success or whatever. If you didn't agree with Dan, then he didn't like you for whatever reason. I know the Shanahans worked their tail off at Washington, and the last year was a miserable year for them. I think they were 3-13, and I took the job over, and the team was in disarray, with the quarterback situation and the defense and all that stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Dan has bad things to say about me too, but to not better your franchise and get the maximum amount for a quarterback who's getting $100 million or whatever the contract was for Kirk. All we got was a conditional 3rd pick. That's the worst thing that happened in our franchise history, I think.
And that comment you made when someone's like, hey, they would have given them the 2nd overall pick, and you said no, they would have given them more. How much more? How much more?
We would have got more. I just know we would have got more. And I know how much the Shanahans love Kirk, and it would have been a perfect fit. I think part of the reason was I don't think, Dan wanted the Shanahans to succeed. I'm like, what? Why are you punishing us? I mean, if Kirk's not going to come back, and then, I think deep down, I think they thought we were going to get Kirk re-signed, and I don't think Kirk wanted to come back. I think there was just some bad blood between the ownership and Scott McCloughan at the time, maybe, or, Bruce Allen or whatever. Or the receivers that we had, I don't know. But I didn't get the sense that he wanted to come back to Washington at any cost.
Fascinating, because I was just thinking that how could you let Kirk Cousins get away? And if it was personal between, Cousins and the front office or ownership, and basically you were left holding the bag with, a rebuild on your hands, right?
Yeah, and then we ended up, we got the 3rd-round conditional pick, and then we traded for Alex Smith, which I don't think we had to trade for. We traded away our starting nickel, Kendall Fuller, and a 3rd-round pick to get Alex. And I loved Alex, but he was going to be let go in a free agent. We could have got him for nothing. And unfortunately for us, we were playing really well with Alex. We're 6-3, and then Alex broke his leg, and all hell broke loose.
All right, Coach, here's the question that I think 49er fans would love to hear you answer. Let's say that trade had gone down and Kirk Cousins had joined Kyle Shanahan. Do the Niners have a Super Bowl?
Oh, that's impossible to tell. I mean, what kind of question is that?
Yeah.
A good one.
Coach, I'm with you.
It's a good one, Coach.
I don't know. They had a chance last year. They Brock got hurt in the playoffs, obviously. You can't have your tight end block Hassan Reddick on a play action pass. But, maybe, yeah. Kirk in a system like that, Kirk's strength, and Kevin O'Connell's doing a great job with them in Minnesota, but his strength is having a strong running game, and he's really good on those play action passes and the bootlegs, which he's unbelievable at. He's getting, and through the years, he's gotten a lot better in the known passing situations. Now he can come back and win games in known passing situations. He's not just a first and second down play pass guy. He's a drop back guy. He's got the skill to do everything. The only thing you miss with Kirk is probably the ad lib plays. He doesn't have a lot of athletic ability to get outside the pocket, make things happen that are unscripted. Like, the great ones, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. But as far as playing a position, yes, I think he could have brought him home one.
Coach, where do you think this goes next with Kirk Cousins, his career, and do you think that there is still a chance that Shanahan and Cousins are together someday?
Yeah, that could be. I believe that. I know that they have, like I said before, great respect for one another. But I don't know. Kirk is his own guy. I'll tell you that. He beats to his own drum, and he's a family-oriented guy, and he's going to do whatever he thinks is best for his family. I mean, obviously, he's pretty well secure financially, but as far as where he wants to live, who he wants to play for, he's very religious as well. So I think he'll have his long talks in church or whatever he does and make his decision. But it could be here, sure. For
Coach,
sure.
I want to apologize for my partner's wild hypothetical for putting you in an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah. I'd ask it again. Coach, you want to come on again Monday? I'll ask you again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kirk's a great player, and they've had some good teams, but I don't think you can just blame the quarterback for they're not going to the Super Bowl, right? Can you?
No,
well,
you
the
can't.
fans blame Jimmy G.
Yeah,
so.
It's not about the one last year. It's about the one in 2019. If you think they would have been a better team than they were with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, Jimmy's not bad though. It's not like he's a slappy.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get you to crush someone, Coach. But
okay.
They might have won in 2019 if he was the guy, right?
They surely could have.
Yeah. Coach, you're a good sport, and this is really interesting, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, thanks for having me anytime.
All right, you got it. Yeah, Coach Jay Gruden. See, anytime. He's not bothered by my question.